Hello everybody, Hassan here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about what happens when media covers properly the news of CRISPR, specifically talking about NTLA 2002 program. I want to talk about exactly that here in this video. So of course, this article here is from Seeking Alpha. Should be no stranger of this channel. We've covered a lot of their articles. I think they do a good job going over transcripts for quarterly earnings call, for conferences call. I use them a lot for those type of purposes. More or less about articles, but over here they talk about, of course, the article that was published in 16 September, of course, talking about NTLA 2002. Now, in yesterday's video, or at least last video, we talked about how Wall Street Journal just attacked NTLA despite having some amazing results, right? Look at what they talk about here. Look at the verbiage, which is so different than a legacy media like Wall Street Journal, because what they're doing here is they're going straight to the facts. They're giving you, okay, phase one, phase two, NTLA 2002, data July 27. They're looking at mean reduction 65 and 92% respectively, with 25 and 75 milligrams of dose. And of course, they're going now with 50 milligrams of dose. It was announced in the data release, but you see the decline was sustained at least to 16 weeks in the 25 milligram and in 8 weeks in the 75 milligrams. So very, very straightforward. The verbiage you can see is being used here is very straightforward. There doesn't seem to be any sort of attacking of NTLA. Clearly, they're quoting here the CEO the way it should be quoted. There's no like word like a little or dangerous or a potential risk. Like, it's just giving you the data as it should be, as how we should be treating phase one, phase two. And then people wonder why Beam Therapeutics have not dosed anybody. Well, probably because if something ever goes wrong, I mean, legacy media is just gonna attack them like no tomorrow. I mean, it's just crazy what legacy media have done in several industries. I think the influence that they've had for decades, centuries, I think is coming to an end here, because now you have retail investors such as ourselves that are no longer bounded to that type of channel of information. I mean, we are now exposed to YouTubers, we're exposed to Twitters, to Redditors, we're exposed to information that we can get on a fast information, fast track, and even peer reviewed in some instances, as opposed to going through legacy media where we're depending on one author that is almost never vetted out. Those articles are never vetted out. I mean, anybody with a half brain would know this. I mean, if you think Wall Street Journal that article was reviewed and peer reviewed by many people involved in this space, then I'm sorry, you just didn't read the article. It's just as simple as that. Go back to the article, go back to my other video, you'll see right away. But you see, this is what happened. This is why I'm so happy about publishers like Seeking Alpha, because they're giving you the data, they're giving you the news as it should be, and they're telling you, giving you a couple of quotes here and there, sort of, supplement what they're talking about here. And they're obviously talking about the future companies that opted in to have 50 milligram of dose level, which is what we started. And they're talking about phase two here with H1 2023 for 2 dosage for further evaluation. So I just love this type of straightforward article as opposed to the BS that Wall Street Journal was able to do in our last video. I mean, I had some time to think about it, and I don't want to make a video just to make a video. I mean, I've already said what I had to say in my last video on Wall Street Journal and their article there. But the point is, guys, just try to be careful with what you read on the internet. Try to be careful. I mean, it's gonna be very, very hard in this recession that we're in to sort of filter out the negativity and the propaganda and individuals trying to get you clickbaits, right? Things like, risk, things like stocks down 6% because the results were not as satisfying to analysts. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, the more I think about that article, it's like, I can't believe they talked about a BMO analyst saying that that data was not up to par. Like, what is a BMO analyst? The guy is like or the girl, whoever that this BMO analyst is. I think it was a guy. I think they named the analyst. But anyways, doesn't matter. That BMO analyst was probably like 27 years old. Like, I don't know. I'm just making it up and speculating. But the point is, he's like 27 and like probably just like, waiting to finish his shift on Friday to go drink with his buddies in Toronto, because it is probably in HQ Toronto there in downtown. And we're supposed to be depending on his words to determine whether or not the data was good. I mean, come on, guys. Like, let's be, I think there's a lot of people say, don't be ignorant, be open minded. And I totally agree with that mindset. I mean, I always try to approach everything like that. But when you come into these types of instances where you have these firm affirmations, like affirmations made firmly by these legacy media authors and legacy media as a whole, I mean, you gotta step back and say, what's going on here? Like, what is it? What is this? Like, is this what it's supposed to be? Is this what the internet, is this what sharing information should be? I mean, what is the purpose of media if you can't even deliver the truth, right? I'm not asking you not to be biased. I'm just asking you to deliver the truth and to sort of review your work and question whether or not that information is relevant to the audience you're trying to speak to. Wall Street Journal is huge. I mean, I think it's top 3 in the country, in the world. It's in the top 5 or top 10 media publishers. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. But of course, respect to Seeking Alpha. I just wanted to make this video giving back to these type of publishers that do a really good job. When I talk about legacy media, I'm not talking about all forms of media, guys. There are some media outlets that are really good, like The Verge, Seeking Alpha. There are some media outlets that are really, really good, that work really, really hard to give you that information. And you get those emails. I get Seeking Alpha emails there on a daily or weekly basis, whatever. And I definitely read some of their summaries. So shout out to these guys. Shout out to this team here. And of course, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. What maybe media you follow. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Do like this video if you found value. Subscribe if you're not. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.